All right. Top 3 habits for sustainable or success. What was the? I don't remember the.
I think
Or just like for
long-term
healthy.
health and happiness.
That sounds good.
I
Let's do
imagine
that.
it's almost people go, oh, if you had a gun to your head, what would the only 3 things that you would do, what would they be?
Yeah.
Should we go for that? That's a bit more of a
Great.
YouTube title.
Yeah. Get a gun to your head. There's a fire, and you have to save 3 habits that will keep you healthy and happy forever.
Yeah.
Right.
And people always say it around food, they say, what would be the 3 foods that you eat? And then you always get the guy that goes, oh, well, is it individual foods or is it meals?
Can I have
So we have to set some
just
ground rules
rice.
to start with.
Okay. So habits are pretty straightforward, right? Which like what things are you doing?
What things are you doing? Okay.
So like for example, movement. I mean, and that can apply to you. Like I want to.
Well, this is where the ground rules come in now.
Ah, I see. Yeah. What kind
Follow
of
this.
What kind
follow
of
this
movement?
elaborate system that contains like everything that you need to do.
Do all of this.
I think there needs to be a bit more. Let's get a bit more specific because
Alright.
if we just say movement, it's like okay, cool. Like
go
what
what?
within that, and then it's confusing and overwhelming and it's complex. So I think the reason we're doing this is to, in my opinion, this is about distilling it down and going. If life is busy, like you maybe just starting doing this sort of thing, and you just want to start getting some results, and like you don't want it to be complicated. Like what would those 3 things be? And I actually just answered a similar question on the story. Someone said,
Oh, nice.
I've been out of shape for a long time.
Yeah.
I want to get started. Like, what would you recommend? So it's kind of, we're answering that question, I guess.
Yeah, nice. Well, I think for that person, who's been out of the game for a bit, maybe they did something before and now they're like, oh, a bit overweight, don't quite know. I think the answer, movement, is okay.
In the sense of do something physical.
Yeah. Now, if that was you coming back from a 3-month break, it would be like, right, we're going to get to it. If it was a person who's not done anything in 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, it would be, let's just go for some walks. You know what I mean? So like the movement is based on your individual history, your circumstance, your interests, your passions. If you're living I don't know, you've got to hit 3, workouts in the gym. I can't afford a gym right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know. The gym is 10 miles away. I live in the countryside. So I think broadly we can say movement. I think is one of the most important habits.
Yeah.
To create happiness
I guess
and health.
I was going to say movement, but my angle would have been more as a habit would have been just do everything you can in your day not to be sedentary. Like don't stay at your desk for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like don't watch TV all evening.
Yeah.
Like don't
have a morning walk.
Yeah, do the opposite, right?
Yeah,
take loads of breaks. Try to walk as much as you can. Like inconvenience yourself. Like be the one that offers to carry the shopping. Like lift someone's boxes up the stairs. Like, just moving in terms of impact versus effort. I think it's like anti-sedentary, which could be defined as movement as well.
Yeah, nice.
But I think the purpose isn't necessarily movement itself. It's to avoid falling into the sedentary trap. Because if you look at, let's say, like primitive man or like some of the tribes that still exist now, like they're not doing bench press or like squats, right?
And they're also not lounging on a sofa.
But they're moving. They're obviously, they have rest and recovery and like as well, but they're super active. Like they go and hunt or they're foraging or they're trekking and walking. So it's the sedentary thing it's not the lack of presence of exercise in modern man's life that's causing all these issues and obesity and depression and all this. It's actually just the fact that our lives are sedentary.
Well, 100%. And 2 points for me there. Point 1 is like when we are static, no energy is like we're just like nothing's happening. And so when we start moving, this energy moves, and then fat moves, and every muscles move, and our brain shifts because we're moving, right? So that's just only going to create a positive impact. There's a little story on this, is that, so my dad passed away at 95, And up until probably like 91, 92, he was playing tennis at least once a week, maybe twice, gardening, cutting down trees, tinkering in the shed, barely sat. He'd come and have his tea and then fall asleep. And I remember saying to, like, getting a bit worried about him. Mum, Dad coming around, he's up a ladder cutting trees down at like 90. I'm like, Dad, what the fuck? This is so dangerous, you know? And I remember him saying to me, he's like, as soon as I sit in that chair, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And he's like, looked around at his peers who are dying in their late 70s and 80s, who kind of get to that, oh, and maybe they'll go and get the paper. And then it's basically in your chair. And yeah, so I always stick with me. It's like, sit on your ass and you're going to lose it.
Yeah. And
So,
the scary thing now is like people are saying that in their 30s and 40s now. Like you see it on social media, people saying, I've called it out a few times where people are like, oh, when you, like joking, when you get to your 30s, you know, things start stiffening up. And I'm like, dude, man.
When someone tells me that, and I'm 46, and when someone in their 30s is like, I'm like, shut up. Like, you have absolutely no excuse. And that is the time when you're coming out your 20s, when it's all free. You might have, I get it, right? More responsibilities. So you're like, oh, this is hard. If it is, you're making it hard. Like, I also think, like, societally, we moved more, right? Like, if we go back, it's not even that far.
Even to basically like my parents'
Yeah.
generation, which is basically in between
Yeah.
you and
Yeah.
your parents.
The 60s to 80s.
Yeah.
Not that far. I was born in the 79, but everyone walked to school because you went to school in your community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your parents would walk you there and back. I remember seeing it, like, they'd chat on the way back. As you grew older, you could ride your mountain bike in, and you'd take the long way to do some jumps. Like, just like, I'm just thinking, like, the daily stuff was outside.
Yeah.
You moved, you walked there, you rode your bike there. And now I've got to drive my kid to school because of our choice. Most everyone's turning up, like, driving. So you've lost that, and then you're probably rushing back to get to work.
Yeah.
I'm just like noticing how society shifted.
There's just a massive convenience factor. Like,
Yeah.
oh my, dude, I saw this. Me and Morgan were watching something on TV yesterday. There was an advert for the new Skechers, and the USP is you don't have to bend down to put them on. You can basically slip your foot in without bending over.
Oh, thank God.
But it's actually
Whose problem are they
the
solving?
actual linguistics they use is like no more bending over.
Thank Christ.
And what's he called? That footballer presenter.
Not too.
There's a handful of celebrities which are basically like promoting it who were all sports people.
Skechers. Okay.
And they're like, yeah, I don't have to bend over. This is
Thank
fantastic.
God, I don't use my muscles.
But
and my hinge.
that advert is literally like the embodiment of
right.
that direction that we've been going. Where
they're like, they've researched that, right? They know that that's something that's going to sell.
Convenience is going it's going beyond. Everything is so convenient, and I think people underestimate let's just remove exercise, actual considered exercise out of the equation.
Yeah, right.
People underestimate just the general power of like just moving tiny fractional movements, even like bending over to put your shoes on and not having to do that anymore. The more we remove these natural movement paths from our life, the quicker we're going to become stiff and decrepit and overweight.
So with you, man, and it reminds me when I post ACL surgery, right? So my knee was all jacked up and had this gnarly brace on it, and the amount of movement was kind of like, that was the kind of movement I could do at the time,
It's the worst.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it. But what happened, long story short, physio wasn't good, and I didn't use it. And then it's taken me years to get back to a place of I can surf again and run and stuff. So it's just a point if we don't use it, and I see it, like if we watch out our window here on the high street, I'm going to go 1 in 4 probably aren't using it. She's in shape. She just had a baby. Well done, mama. Let's just make some judgments here. Probably hasn't moved in a little while. Quite likes convenience, easy food. Hey, that's another thing, man. I was talking to someone the other day and they're like, I'm just heating up some food. And I thought about that and I was like, could be leftovers.
Yeah.
But knowing it, I'm also like, that sounds like a microwave meal.
What, you could hear the microwave?
Yeah. And I'm like...
Oh, no, but you would microwave some leftovers, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so let's pretend he was microwaving.
Yeah.
Again, convenience. You don't have to like move around the kitchen, chop stuff, get down, get the onions, spice it up. You just bomb.
I mean, we can go down a serious rabbit hole with this about why convenience is such an allure. Like, is it, and it all kind of falls into the same thing of modern life and being pulled away from those natural rhythms where we had more space in our day and we were focused on more primal stuff. Whereas now, I feel like everyone's in this chronic state of like higher level of stress, where you might not notice it, but it's like, man, I need to work, I need to pay the bills, I need to do all the kid stuff, the life admin. There's such a little amount of time for yourself, for like your self-care. And I think that people reach for convenience as a way to almost take control of like, oh, maybe I can get back a few seconds here. Like, come on.
Not bending down.
Not bending down.
Seconds.
That's fucking ridiculous. That's not even 10
So
seconds.
much
But
it's
this like
a
chronic
saving
feeling of we need to make life as convenient and as easy as possible to like grasp at this time. And I said to one of my friends, we were messaging yesterday, and we get pretty deep straight away. When we say how's things going, it's like an invitation to go into whatever you're feeling. It doesn't have to be like cool. So we always just do that every few months. And I was just saying how, you know, we've had some amazing weekends recently. Like every weekend's been great, but I felt that the weekdays have kind of just, they're just going. And like my kind of goal is to try and bring some of that weekend vibe into the weekday, which is easier said than done, but it's kind of, you know, get up, have breakfast, barely have time to just sit down and drink my coffee because obviously the kids are on full force. I've got to clean up, I've got to make breakfast, I've got to prepare them for school. Like Morgan's doing her jobs as well, and then it's get them to school, come to work, pick the kids up from school, or
it's
get
Saturday.
home,
We can
and and then it's, you know, relax before bed, do any more jobs, and suddenly your days, the whole week's just gone.
And then do you find yourself like looking like, oh, it's Friday, thank God it's the weekend?
I personally
I have
don't
noticed that recently.
You do that.
I have noticed it.
I love the week. Like I love working, and I actually love what I do. So it's kind of different. And sometimes on Monday I'm like, oh, thank fuck, I can get back to some structure.
I feel you there.
But
the
what
idea,
I'm saying is, there's that. It feels, however free your life is, there's still this like underlying feeling of pressure on time, and that's where I think the convenience thing comes from, and that's why, trying to bring it back around to what we were talking about, the movement thing, it's kind of easier to just, right, I'm going to sit on my butt, stare at my screen, just like dial it in, and even if you're procrastinating, but there's that feeling of the more I'm looking at this and focusing, the more I'm going to get done.
So I love it, man, and that's like on a tangent over there, right? Perhaps we could bring it back to like how in this age of hyper convenience and, you know, everyone wants to just get it now and sit still and just click on the button and it arrives, and I don't even have to walk up the road to get my coffee, kind of thing. Like, get it delivered. I'm all right, man, thank you. That's great. It's a lovely little pot. So how do we bring movement back in? Because we know whatever we call that word, and I love that you said that, it's not about working out, it's movement. That's the pillar. Now, anti-sedentary, that's the pillar. So how do we get that back? So that person that we spoke about that is like, oh man, those Skechers no bend shoes are kind of appealing to. Like, how does somebody, and that day that you said the kids are up, it's breakfast, wash up, laundry, drop off, back to Zoom calls, lunch, 9 o'clock. Like, how do we build in?
Well, that bit is actually fairly physical though.
True.
In fact, in those mornings for me, I'm actually thinking, man, I'd love to just like eat my breakfast in peace. Whereas it's like probably stood up doing loads of other stuff.
Like,
then I look at my watch and it's 7:45, and I'm like, shit, I need to have a shower, and it's You know the feeling. I feel like any dads watching this, or moms watching this.
And I was thinking, that's so funny, man, this morning. I was like, wow, I've like done the laundry, done the washing up, done like dressed, shower, and it's 8.
Yeah.
Wow. Probably got loads of steps in. Like pre-kids, probably
still in bed.
After that, popped the laundry on, laid on the sofa with a coffee, read the paper, I don't know.
Yeah.
sort of.
So I think
kids give us the kick in the ass.
well, kids
And
can
that's
either make or break you, I think, in that regard.
But man, that's also a beautiful reframe of like, oh, I'm not holding a kettlebell, I'm not hanging off a pull-up bar, but I am like running up and down the kitchen, back up the stairs, lost his shoes, need to go in the other room. Like, check your step count, dads, at 8:30 after the school run. You've probably smashed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, there's one thing.
I think, yeah, if you can embrace that, that's amazing. But I think that with any of these things, you look at where is the majority of the time being spent, because the majority of anything is the thing that's going to create the biggest impact, assuming that the intensity is the same. So like that's time sat at work, I would assume, for most guys. Because I would say a lot of most of the guys in our program are dads. The vast majority. Or they feel very busy and they probably are bustling around in the morning. But then when they get to work, they're sat for the whole day and they probably don't move. Despite despite their best intentions.
I think we touched on this in a podcast a while ago, and for me it was the thing of like, don't be afraid to be the guy that stands up in the meeting. Don't be afraid to, if some of the Zoom calls are like internal, to be like, I'm going to be walking, but I'll be fully, even around the house, like, got your headphones on.
Yeah.
Little moments of movement.
I sometimes have a bit of hesitance about saying things like that because obviously no one's going to tell me off and no one's going to think it's a faux pas. So it's kind of one of those things where it's,
I hear you.
Yeah, it's easy to say it when you're not in that situation. Yeah. But I would also suggest, knowing a lot of people, most of my main group of home friends are in like that, more of like the traditional corporate world or jobs like that. And from what I hear, things are much more liberal nowadays.
They are,
and people respect that sort of thing.
So there's a beautiful another pillar that I feel is really important to create long-term happiness and health is like, I don't know if it's sort of like ownership of like, what do I need? What do I want? What's going to make me and then obviously my family happy, successful, and healthy? It's going to be different from you and you and you and you, and certainly different from the system that is keeping me at work. Yeah. So if I can own that and go, do you know, I'm getting fat, my knees are hurting, I just don't have any energy if I sit my ass all day at Zoom calls. I have an opportunity, and as you said, I think the corporate world is shifting and people are open to it, to go, look, I'm putting on weight, I don't get to meet all day, I'm happy to do this work, I love the job, but I need to stand up. Or I'm going to suggest we all actually meet and go for a walking meeting this morning around the building. I guess I'd be stoked if I was like an employee, we're going to go for a walk, it's not brilliant. Like owning what we need instead of just going, well, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. Everything's convenient. I have to drive everywhere. I am really busy. Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're, depending obviously your position, but assuming that if you're a superior, right, you can basically make that decision yourself and you're the one that dictates it. But if you're worried about how that looks towards your superiors or even just like your peers, like your people on your level, then I would suggest that most superiors are going to look at that favourably because they're going to see this person is thinking about how they can be more optimise their performance, basically. And what they're not going to like is if you're like, oh, can I have like a day off so I can go get pissed and whatever, I don't know.
And then that's it, man. That's a beautiful little tip, isn't it? Frame it to your boss like, I really want to do better at this job, and you might just want to move. Like if I can get some movement in, I'm going to feel way more energized for that afternoon presentation. He's going to go, brilliant. And also, leaders, good ones, will respect people that own their shit, that ask for what they want, to do what they want, rather than like our clients aren't in like factory lineups where you do what you're told. They're all in like, they have a certain amount of freedom here. Yeah. That's a great trait I want to see in anyone that I employ. Whoa, this guy's asking for what he needs. It's a bit off kilter. Cool. All right. Let's see if we can make that work. Like that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And so, that was just a piece of like a pillar. Is it really that important to know what you want and need?
We spend a lot.
Is that a habit? It's not really a habit, is it?
We as people, I mean, I could do the I statement, but I feel like I've got quite good at this one now. But we do tend to, we waste a lot of energy caring about what other people think. And obviously the work environment and there's some kind of hierarchy and rules in place, a little bit different, but we waste energy there. We waste energy just generally in life. And it is actually wasted energy because 9 times out of 10, probably 99 times out of 100, that the people you think care about what you're doing don't give a shit. In fact, it's not they don't give a shit, they haven't even considered it. Like, they're not even thinking about you. They're thinking about their own stuff.
Yeah.
And if they do care about something that is like overwhelmingly positive for you, then that's a them problem. Like, it's certainly not a you problem. And if you do, if it does feel like something that requires an actual action at work to go, right, I need to have this conversation in order to do it, because there's some of these things that are going to be easy to just implement yourself, like get up from your desk a bit more, like go for it, take your calls, walking around. Should be able to do that without proposing it and making a hoo-ha about it. Other things you're going to have to propose. And what's the worst that can happen? They say no. Like, literally, that's the worst.
Oh, well, that's it. And then that mindset shift to be like, that is actually the worst. They say no, and I have to maybe go rethink a new pitch to get what I need or want. Yeah, totally, man. So, like, that's movement's a habit, non-sedentary life is a habit.
And I always like to call that, a lot of that is like inconveniencing yourself. So, like, moving anything that is a convenience thing, like moving away from that as much as possible.
Go the long way round, park the car further away.
Walk where you can.
Help somebody with shopping. Walk where you can. And that's, I mean, living here is easy.
We have it good.
We do have it good. I think also though, like I know friends in London who, and I remember doing it when I was going up to town and stuff, and I suddenly looked on the map and I was like, I can just walk there or Boris bike it. It's like getting out of our, like, the most convenient is the tube.
How much time did you spend on City Mapper going, oh, this one's like 2 minutes faster?
That bus on that side.
I used to do that all the time.
Oh my God, London. But, walk, just get out and move.
The side benefit of this as well is that when you are in a phase where you're really aware of that, I don't think I am personally. It's baked in a little bit, but you get your shit done a lot faster as well, because it's like, oh, I don't know, those clothes hangers need to get put up, rather than it just being on the to-do list for 3 months. You actually go and do it because, or your kid's like, oh, can we go do this? Just go. Rather than a lot of delays.
I love that. Can you go and drop this down the road? Yep. I'll walk down there and drop that thing off. There's a part of there where like, oh, I'll get the house for an extra 20 minutes.
Like Morgan, for example, the other night was like, oh, I'd love some peanut butter. Cool, I'll go get you some. Just walk to get the peanut butter. Nice. Rather than it being just removing the convenience. You could have clicked on it and it would arrive tomorrow. Delivery, and you would have not moved. Totally, man. So do the hard thing. Anti-sedentary.
Number 2?
Deconvenience. Well, number 2 for me is 100% got to be just eating mainly like real whole foods. Like real simple.
To make you happy and healthy. Could you argue, I'm going to argue,
go for it.
I don't agree, that eating not so great whole foods, cake, pizza, pasties, might make you happy.
Could it make you hard temporarily?
Yeah. Could it, if you ate like that for 10 years and hey, all of those things are fine in moderation. We know that. If that's your diet, you're not eating whole foods, processed stuff, crappy meat from the supermarket value section, and there's no real nutrients in it, not much veg, microwaving all your meals because it's pulling out all of the good stuff in there, but it's got that sugar in there.
I think you'll have the repercussions will show itself in some way or another, whether you know it or not.
I agree with the health. I'm just wondering about the happiness part, like, but that's, as a devil's advocate.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. Yeah. I think you can obviously be happy, right? Happiness has many components. There's the whole thing about the comparison of like the rich guy in his mansion with like a Lamborghini and he fucking hates his life. And then there's like the Indian
farmer,
child that's like an orphan on the street who's like full of laughter all the time. But I believe that if you are fueling yourself with that sort of food, like there will be implications. And this isn't just, oh, you're gonna be obese or like you're gonna get a chronic disease when you're like 50. It's mental health. Like a diet of that caliber is going to be affecting your brain every single day, and it will indirectly cause things that you might not even connect with the food that you're eating and the fuel that you're giving yourself, but it might be something like depression. It might be a lack of confidence. It might be just fatigue. It might be just anxiety. It might be, there's so much that comes with that isn't just, oh, I've put some weight on, or you're going to be ill when you're older. Because there's plenty of people that have had terrible diets for their whole life and they just live a normal, in terms of length, they live like a life. But like, we've talked about this thing before about feeling normal and what people normalize as normal. And there's so many factors involved in it, but I guarantee that if someone shifted their diet from processed food to mainly whole foods with some cake once in a while, like no issue, their new normal would be much, much higher. So it's not about going, can they live to 80 happily? Yeah, they can, but they could have been they maybe could have been happier and done more of things they wanted and struggled less.
Well, that's interesting because it was good to just sort of play that out. Hey, like the some of our clients who are like, I can't believe it. Like they're pretty in shape. Like most of our guys come in like, they got a reasonable level of fitness. I remember speaking to a client the other day and they're good, but tightened up the diet stuff and didn't really realize, thought they were fine. They weren't really, and he's like, oh my God, my energy and how I feel day to day. He doesn't look any different. It's only been a month doing his thing. But the way he feels, because he's, just been more conscious choices with his food. He still like has a Saturday blowout or whatever. And it's just so interesting, like in a month, just dropping some of the bad habits. Yeah. So the happiness will come because now he's like, I feel good. And then, of course, then, your health is obviously going to be impacted. 100%. And it's just funny, while you're saying that, it's like you see old people smoking into their 80s and you're like, how? And then some people, God bless them, die of cancer in their 30s. Like, so you can just eat shit, do whatever you want, and you're going to be fine. But we're talking happy, healthy, optimal.
Your body's an amazing machine, right? Yeah. And it filters a lot of, it deals with it, but it's how much better could you be? Like, okay, you smoke into your 80s, but do you enjoy having that hacking cough every time you go to bed?
You can't get up the stairs.
Like, would it be better without those things? Like, you can still be happy, but probably life would be even better without those things.
That's a really beautiful thing. So then there's the question, right? So, because I agree, maybe I'll just play this. So, my life's fine. I'm eating like I said. I'm drinking 3 times a week. I'm kind of fine. I don't really have any. I'm a bit worried about, but I'm not to the like. I go to park run once a month. I can do the 5K nearly. Do it in about 45 minutes. I'm fine. Got friends. My wife likes me. Why would I change? Why would I?
Well, you don't have to.
Yeah. No, it's just interesting, isn't it? It's that thing of like, I guess I've answered my own point. I have to want to know what it could be like.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I would do that. But what's the vehicle to make change?
Yeah. Well, I would say like anyone that doesn't want to or isn't aware of it, then there's no need to change. We're not here to tell people that aren't interested in changing to change. Like, that's up to you to decide that you want to do that for whatever reason. And it's interesting that obviously I speak to a lot of people, and a lot of them, there's like some physical things that have built up, but more of them, I would say it's more how they feel. Yeah. It's energy comes up a lot, which energy feels like a physical thing, but it's more of just, it's like that zest for life,
like
isn't
vitality.
It? Yeah, exactly. There's like confidence, which again, it's not necessarily, it's tied up in the physical, but it's also just this feel as well. And then there's, yeah, or maybe you've covered it with the vitality thing. There's just this like life force that seems to have been depleted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the reason I'm saying that is that, people, they come to us with more of this feeling of like emptiness or something's missing versus, oh, I just want to lose this weight. Like, obviously that's part of it and it's tied in, but
that
it's
happens. Not. Yeah.
Well, so the guy that is in that position, like we're not here to tell him to change. And that's the thing, right? You don't, maybe it's a bad example, but you take your car for like an MOT once a year, right? But you don't do anything in between that unless there's a flashing light on the dashboard.
Your tire's flat,
And our bodies are so amazing that they do deal with a lot of the shit we do to them and they figure it out. And it's only when we push that too far that we get that warning light on the dashboard.
And that typically happens into our mid-30s, right? And late 30s.
Or older, yeah.
And then, but those flags, the red light comes on. Oh, my knee's a bit sore. Oh, I can't keep up with the kids.
Yeah.
Right? Those little red lights on our dash come up.
And that, I guess you could
ignore it.
You could do the same comparison with the car for age as well. It's like in your 20s, you can kind of bat off a few more of those things. Like I definitely abused myself in my early 20s and didn't really see any implications from it, or at least, maybe if I didn't do it, things would have been better. We're sort of saying here, but like with the car as well, you can probably rag it around a bit more at the beginning, but then once it's 30 years old, those lights are going to be coming up more often, and there's going to be more wear and tear, and
you know what's funny, man?
Less resilient.
I love the car analogy because what I feel and picture when we're talking about that is like those people that it's like boring. I would perceive somebody to be a little bit boring if they were taking their car in our 20s and 30s to the MOT or getting you get your car. Why do you get your car? It's really boring. And it's the same with our bodies, right? Oh, you're going for another run. Oh, you're doing your workout again. Do you need to do that? It can be kind of boring.
Yeah,
I've been on that side younger. Like I just
recklessness is attractive, isn't it?
Yeah,
in your youth.
Exactly. So like if we can bake in those habits. Like it's like we say, oh, imagine we started surfing when we were 4. Like looking at our kids, like they're 4 years old. Hey, shout out! My daughter went surfing on Saturday and she got her first wave. Thanks, Jake, for the encouragement. If we were baking in these habits of healthy eating, which is down to the parents, and movement, and walking, and sleeping properly, and next pillar for me is connection. Imagine the life. There wouldn't be like so often. So many people hit their 30s, 40s. They've kind of dipped and gone shit.
Yeah.
And then it's like a climb back up.
Well,
that's mentally, physically.
This is it's an interesting topic because what we're basically saying is that, I know we started talking about Whole Foods, but this character that we've taught, let's call him Simon.
Simon, okay, yeah.
Simon, he's going to be okay. Like he's probably not going to do anything about it until there's alarm bells. And there's a lot of people that the alarm bells signal and they don't do anything either, because they think they're stronger than it, but it'll break them eventually. But
I wonder about those Simons that get to their deathbed at 71, which is young, with heart conditions or something, and go, shit.
Well, yeah.
They've ignored it for the whole time.
Yeah, I'm sure, and people do. Like you see people that have lung cancer and they keep smoking afterwards. Yeah. Like there's some crazy compulsions in the human race. But what I was saying, it kind of came up about, me and Joe were talking about school yesterday and school dinners, and basically that they feed them junk at school. If you have the school menu, and I know there's a lot of politics and funding tied up in that, and I'm compassionate to that. And we say the same with the NHS. It's kind of like, every time we've been there, it's like, this food is literally garbage.
You're supposed to be looking
they're trying to feed everyone for 50 pence a day. So it's like, what can they do?
Did you see that? Go on, sorry.
But what I'm saying is that to erase that issue, then there needs to be some like fundamental education from a young age that creates those baselines about nutrition and food. Not to say this has to be like a nutrition qualification, but just understanding what position food serves in your life, because there's no real education on that.
Imagine that.
And this actually brings us back around to the point on movement, which is there's a lot of convenience again. Like we live in an age now where you can basically walk across the street and have like food served to you of like any cuisine if you live in London. And
delivered to your door.
Whereas even going back, probably, well, maybe not when I was a kid, but like when my like you were a kid,
Yeah.
you probably had to cut every single. If you wanted chips, like you go and make some chips.
Yeah,
Like you cut up
peel
the
that
potato,
and cut them
like
up.
you might still deep fry it, but like you're still
yeah.
physically cutting that potato,
Yeah.
and then go back thousands of years where it's like, right, I want some food. I've got to go hunt
Kill it,
that
and skin
rabbit
it, and dry it, and
or like pick those potatoes.
Well, it's the planning, and the planning of something creates this like real desire for it. It like I really want to eat. I got to go and hunt. Got to spend a week because I know he's da da da. That the doing thing. You're moving. You're thinking. You're planning. You're not just clicking mindlessly. Oh, chicken curry. Send. Be here in 10 minutes. Carry on my laptop. Like it's we're it gets our brains going as well, which is really important. And I just like on the school dinners thing, man. Was it Joe Wicks did something a while ago, or Ramsey, one of these dudes? I don't remember.
Well, Jamie Oliver was the original school dinner
When he was
changer.
like,
That was
"What's your budget?"
years ago, though.
Yeah, and he made healthy options with the budget they had. So it's totally possible. It's like, so it's convenience and it's a story that isn't important. Nobody's kicking off about that because it's like, well, they're eating, it's fine.
It's very complex.
But it doesn't go into like, imagine, let me think of what's important in society? What would be an issue that we think is important that we look after every day? Brushing our teeth, I don't know, obeying the traffic laws. I'm just trying to think of things that are baked in that nobody really questions. But there's other shit. Pay your tax, people can say. But there's other things like what we feed our kids that nobody questions because it hasn't been baked in as important. It is to you and to me.
Well,
and to others,
the thing is, it's
we opened a can here.
It's a tricky one because there's a chain of events that occurs where the less we as a society are educated about food, the more processed and like convenient food that's available that takes over, and then we as a society generally are iller. We have more demand from the health services, from pharmaceuticals, from doctors, which are typically going to probably address everything but the actual diet and the exercise. Other than go, oh, you could probably do with a bit of exercise. Right. And we can talk about what the foods they recommend, which is absolutely ridiculous. I remember when Morgan was pregnant with Axel, and we were in Whitechapel hospital for our first appointment.
Wow, yeah.
And like the healthy recommended food was like naan bread and like chapatis and stuff. And I was like, man, come on. And then like the heart healthy meal was like spaghetti bolognese or something, which like fair enough, but it's what's the criteria for saying that's
well, as you say, man, like not even when I was a kid, but probably the generation before me, so the kids that were going to school in the 70s, didn't they have like in America, I think it's called home ec? Home ed, where you learn cooking.
Yeah.
And like sewing, right? And I had CDT, we made stuff out of wood and you were making. Those are really, it's like we talked about this before, like imagine they taught you how to save money. Imagine they taught you how to like, maintain a house, like fix a toilet. Those are really important things. Cook a good meal. What are the 5 food? You get a bit of it, don't you? Like the 5 food groups or whatever. Can't even remember them all.
Well, that comes. It's ours. That's something that we have to take responsibility with as parents because unfortunately it's not in the system. But
we only do that if we find it important. Like how?
Well,
many,
yeah, exactly.
Like
that's
if
what
I mean, our immediate friends are probably similar. But if you look around, how many people are like, what? Is that a problem? And you're like,
well, that's
what do
why
you mean?
Education exists because like some parents won't be willing to give it to their own children. So there's going to be gaps. So I agree. I agree. It should be within the criteria of the system. Like why we've talked about it on another podcast. Like why are we not taught about how to handle money? And we can get into conspiracy theories that's like a good thing for. Control of the government, but we could say the same thing about food as well.
100%, mate. Look at it. Look at who owns all these bloody food companies in America now. It's a link. You create the problem, then you create the solution. Look, everyone's getting overweight and obese, and we're not working out, and we don't eat healthy. Oh, what's that stupid new pill they've launched? Some fat loss.
Ozempic.
Yeah. Ta-da! Yo, stop eating fake meat made of Lord knows what Like, be a veggie, great. Be vegan, amazing. Do that. Don't eat something that's made out of chemicals. Like, you're eating plastic. So, but we've been fed that lie, like that has been a thing. And so, and it's not even a conspiracy to this point. Get you sick, solve the problem by pills that don't actually solve anything. They just get you onto more problems. And it's just a loop.
Well, how many guys they have that first like heart issue, right, in their like 50s or whatever. They get on statins, and then by the time another 5 years pass, they're on like 3 other things. And like, I know loads of guys that they've basically been stacking prescriptions since they were in the 40s.
Yeah. It's really sad. And then to
not
try and come off
necessary.
those, well, you know,
Well,
it
yeah,
isn't
exactly.
necessary. It is absolutely
And
not
you're never
necessary.
addressing those root causes.
100%, bro.
And the thing about those drugs as well is that they're probably suppressing some of those symptoms. Like symptoms at the end of the day, they are that warning light on the dash.
Right.
Right?
Right.
They're there for a reason, and
Go away.
suppressing them is not a solution. Especially if you keep partaking in the behaviours that cause the symptoms in the first place. It's you know, like on horror films, they have those 2 walls that come together and you're in the middle.
You're just squashing it in. I mean, bro, that's exactly right. You are literally hiding it. It's like putting a bit of masking tape on
On your sofa.
I love this.
It's like putting a blue cloth under your sofa to try and fix it.
But you know, like that's not fixing anything. But so we're going off on a little one there, aren't we? But
well, we're talking about the society now, so let's bring it back to what the individual can control.
Don't eat processed food.
Eat it sometimes, once in a while. But I prefer to say eat mainly whole foods.
That's smart. That's very, very PC.
Yeah.
Mainly whole foods. And look, man, I'll have fish and
That's the
chips
truth.
It's true, right? I'll have fish and chips here and there. I had a pizza on the beach the other day. It was great. But then I'm like, well, what are we eating tomorrow? Like, I'm eating that pizza going, this is really tasty. Can we have some chicken for dinner?
Yeah.
Create the habit.
The thing about mainly whole foods is that can look different for everyone depending on what you want for your life.
Yeah.
Because we're not here to say that you need to want to be superhuman and you want to be like Captain America or whatever, Captain Britain or whatever. I don't know.
Captain America,
but
that's good.
You decide where you want to be on that spectrum.
Right.
And what we know is that if you have a fully optimal diet, which we don't really know what it is, it's going to be different for everyone and there's different beliefs, but whatever that ends up being, like you will probably be in a pretty good place. And if you have a very destructive diet, you'll probably be in a very bad place. You can choose where you want to sit on that spectrum, but I guarantee even if you were like 50-50 going from mostly processed foods and you move to 50-50, like your quality of life is going to improve.
Yeah.
And that's not much to ask, is it really, to go, only half of what I eat.
Just 3 of my meals need to change. Yeah.
And you can work towards moving to that kind of 80%, that 90%. And there's the whole 80-20 thing that's thrown around. And, I think there's a lot of truth to that. I would argue maybe 90-10 is probably better because that still allows a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, 80-20, come on.
You can do it. So same with movement. You don't have to go from 0 to working out 5 times a week and running 2 runs a week. 80-20. 2 days you're going to do something.
Yeah.
1 day. Start with 1 day. I mean, the Couch to 5K program, like that's a thing. Like So habits are movement, mainly whole foods.
Yeah.
For me, I always talk about it's community, like connection, however you want to sort of paint that. Having people to connect with, to share with, to support you, to support them, it's invaluable. Like the community, I always use the lone wolf dies. Like they don't last in the wild.
Yeah.
They're on their own. They're in this huge tribe. The wolf tribe or pack is a really complicated and amazing thing. The ones that are at the front of the pack, that's not the alpha. They're like these like young warrior wolves, and then you've got auntie wolves that have the children. Then you've got the grand. It's incredible.
The
Lion
alpha's at the back, no?
The alpha's at the back.
That's cool.
Or somewhere in the middle, so he can like
But
keep an eye.
so when you say community, because I've been thinking about what the third one would be for me as well, and there's a few things popped up, and this was one of them. But how do you embody community within like a behaviour that someone can have? Because it's very broad, and it's easy to go, oh, get yourself a wife, have some kids, get a good group of people around you. It's not that easy, right? It's not something that you can just...
It takes work. It takes work again because of the way it didn't used to take work. You were in a community. You all worked in the same place. You're on the same street. Your kids are outside, but they're not. We're here now. It's inside you. You know, listener, how to do this. We've just forgotten. I'm hoping anyone's listening to it has got at least one or two people in their life, right? I'm hoping that that's the sort of audience we have. Acknowledging there are people that have nobody. Bless you. Let's talk to those people that have some acquaintances, some colleagues, they know someone from the gym or something like that. It's about making an effort. Like, it's about asking. I've seen this Jake guy a few times. He seems nice. Like, hey man, like, I noticed you're doing pull-ups. Can you make a connection, find a way to connect. And because everybody does want that. We pretend someone's talking to me. We want connection. Humans thrive off it. So how to do it? You like step out of your comfort zone slightly. And then when you have these people in your life, check in on them. I haven't seen Jake for a bit. Are you all right, man? I haven't seen you for a few weeks at the gym. Oh, I broke my ankle. Shit, do you need anything? I'll come around. Like, put yourself out, check in on people, and ask for help. So asking for help is going to help you, obviously. You helping someone else, supporting someone else is going to help them, and that's going to make you So, yeah, did that answer the question?
Kind of. I've got so many things. I almost don't want to forget it. But one thing I would say is you can also have relationships, but not utilize them in the way that's helping you. So you can have, if you're never exploring like the feelings that you need to share and express, and it's very surface level all the time, like that can be as useless as not having any community at all.
Right. Which is probably arguably a large portion of particularly men in the world. All right, mate, yeah, you watched football, yeah, it was good, mate. You all right? Yeah, mate, yeah, the truck's broken, yeah, mate, blah. What happened there? Fuck all. I could have done that with the postman. I have a better relationship with our postman, actually.
Why? So, compliments for it coming in hard. I've always observed you as someone that is very strong at making connection. Like, when you walk down the street, it's like, hey Joe, like, how you doing? Just, I'm like, man, this guy's only been here for like a year and he knows like
Thanks,
everyone.
Man. Yeah.
Obviously some like weird eccentric people have that trait as well, but I don't think that's you.
Borderline, yeah.
So I guess my question to you, sidebar is, what is that? Okay, a few questions. Is that the way you've always been? Either way, like why do you feel you do that?
And maybe how?
And then like, what do you feel it's given you and how maybe? Quite a few questions.
Thanks, man. Yes, I've always been like that. From around 14, 15. I was the shy kid in America, came to England as the American kid, bit of a celebrity, so I've got some confidence. And after that was, talk to anyone. That's question one. Question two is was it the why?
Why do you think you do that?
Why do I think? Yeah. Coming back to a point you were talking about earlier about the confidence thing. Like when I feel good physically, because I eat well, I move my body a lot, I have community, I feel good. There are days when I'm like, whatever shitty times we all have, that I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone. And I notice that can be some people's entirety. I don't feel good, I don't feel confident, I feel like a bit crappy, so I barely want to even lift my head up when I speak to people. We know people like that, right? So I do dip there. But typically it makes me feel good. Seeing the guy, I don't even know his name, but I've seen him enough times walking his dog around my street to go, all right, mate, yeah, what's going on up there? It feels good. We look at each other, we're like, hey, there's a human being. That makes me feel seen. Like I'm a person in this community and they are, and it's this thing that when we know our neighbors, when we know the people that we're meeting up and down the street, it creates a connection that is like we are bigger than anything else. So I'm going into it here. Don't know where this is coming from.
Go for it.
So the world right now is a crazy place. We're told we hate the left, we hate the right, we hate the blue, we hate the red. We could be angry here, be angry. But bollocks. If you're walking up and down Causeway Head and around Penley Park and down the prom, you're my people. These are who's going to affect you. If you were coming and beating everyone up on the street, there would be a problem with the guy in Penzance. I would feel very strongly about that. So to create a community where we see each other, we know each other. Someone's bike got stolen in my neighborhood a little while ago. We all came out in the street. Have you seen anything? Do you know? Yeah, I heard something. That's amazing. That wouldn't have happened without that connection I'm making.
And this is the thing, really. All these, we get lost in all these big arguments about these big systems, global, national systems, but the change really happens like on the personal level, right?
100%.
And if, it kind of seems a bit fluffy, but if you can be, if you're worried about lots of anger and danger in the world, like if you can be kind to your fellow man, like that's one less person that's causing those issues. And that's why you see these, you know, at the moment there's this crazy shit happening in the UK where there's like a lot of nationalism going on, like rightly or wrongly. I don't really have an opinion, but it spreads like wildfire, like just an intent and a way of being. But then also look at going back to like flower people in like the 70s or whatever, like that positive. Well, I mean, I'm actually reading a book at the moment that says it wasn't as positive as it looked.
Some shadows
but
in
let's
there,
assume it was.
Yeah. That
like wave of like peace and love, like that spread through people as well, which was individual acts that come together. Like a river is not one drop of water, right? But it's lots of millions of drops of water together moving.
Bro, if you could get all those people that are fighting each other up country about immigration and Lord knows what, and go, what's important to you? Oh, safety, family, you know, da 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 da. We're all the fucking same. And by doing that, by communicating, by looking people in the eyes, by smiling, by engaging, that we have a way better chance of creating a space that our children are safe, happy, cared for, loved. If we're like head down and oh them over there, it's the they them thing. They're the problem. Once they're gone, my life's going to be better. Like bringing it back to all that. Once I've changed my job, my life will be fine. Once the kids are 18, my life. But what are you going to do for the next? Like, what are you doing about it? So what I'm doing about it is I am being a friend of mine, Mitch. He's called Lighthouse. He's like 6'8". He's like, be the lighthouse. Be light. Be like, be light. Smile.
Yeah.
Because it might get someone going, oh, and I know it's to be true when I say to somebody, oh, hey, you look great today. And you see them like that.
Yeah.
They're going to go home.
They pass it on.
They'll probably pass it on.
Yeah.
And then they'll tell someone, oh, this guy said something. And they'll be like, that's nice.
Yeah.
I might try that. Like, do that. That's why I do it. Why do we run Dad's Club? Why do we run these men's circles? To allow men to come and speak and just, it's okay, right?
So we're returning to the habit of community. Let's assume that the people that are listening to this, like they have some people around them.
Yeah.
So maybe it's about actually communication.
Check in with them.
Because you can have a wife,
Yeah.
you can have some friends,
Yeah.
you can have some acquaintances, but you never actually, for whatever reason, like you never broach like anything meaningful in the conversation. So maybe that is the habit. It's
what you said,
being courageous of actually having that communication.
That mate you have that you don't speak too often, but when you do, it's like boom. It's like, how do we do that? Well, that forms over time. That's your relationship. But it's asking a question like, what's the hardest thing you've had to face this week? What's the biggest joy you've had since I spoke to you last? Like, those are good questions. Like, I want to tell you about this new thing I've started. I want to tell you how hard it was because Avala's just started school. I don't want to tell you that the weather's bad and, you know, this and that. Dude, I'm dying for a piss.
You are?
Really bad.
Well, you go. We'll hit the pause. So we were assuming that people have some people around them, but and you were mentioning that chat I had with my friend and stuff.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so ask those questions. That's what we're saying, right? Like if what you put in is what you'll get out. I haven't heard from Jake for a few weeks. I'll just text him. Like, we can isolate and be like, oh, they must be busy. Oh, they don't want to hear from me. It's easy to start telling a story. pretty sure if they're somebody you've connected with, they're going to like to hear from you, you know? And I also want to say, like I was thinking as I ran out for my wee there, is that by doing that, you are putting yourself out there, and you have to have the confidence, which comes from a million different ways, and some of us have it and some of us don't. Some of us have to work with it. Some of us, it's an edge. But you are putting yourself out there. And when I am the way I am, it will upset people. When I'm happily go and talk to people and I'm happily speak my mind in a respectful way, people don't like that. Other people do. So I guess it's come out like, be authentic. I don't have to be for everybody. And that comes with an age thing.
You
right?
don't always have to, it doesn't always have to be this thing of speaking to strangers on the street as well though. Like it can be more internal, like it could be with your partner, like your spouse,
it's deepening the connections that are in your life.
Do you think it's, in terms of like the benefit of this and why it's so important, obviously it's multifaceted, but the thing that's coming to me is more, it's that ability to express and feel like I'm not alone in this.
Yeah. Yeah, and when, when things get rough, maybe you're sick, maybe you have a baby, and you need support, by having these connections, you aren't alone. Could someone help me out? I can't get to the shops. I'm really ill, broke my leg, whatever it is. Need a hand moving a sofa. Like you can ask people if you have a connection with them. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's like a job. You need to hire someone, or it's really out of the way. You know that I'd happily help if you called, and I think vice versa because of a connection we've built.
Yeah.
So that's the importance.
And I think we can all maybe think back to the moments where maybe you felt stressed, you felt like, oh, this is so much, like I'm worried about work, I'm worried about money, like family stressing me out. And then you might go for a coffee with one of your mates or whatever, and suddenly it's all like dissipated. Yeah. And this brings me kind of nicely onto, I guess, the area that I was more thinking, like definitely this came to mind, but the other area was, initially I was going to say sleep, but then I came to more like rest. And the reason it connects is that I was thinking about rest, and I think sometimes we fall into the trap of like thinking we're resting, but we're not actually doing it. So we basically, the movement thing, we sedentary, which is rest, but it's not rest because we're stressed, we're working, like we feel busy, we're under the cosh, we're getting dopamine hits, we're scrolling, we're thinking like what we want to buy, like we're watching stuff that's like stimulating us. So there's like a lot of this stuff happening. That's the plumber, by the way.
Okay.
So we might have to wrap up soon. I wasn't expecting him. But we need to rest properly as well. 100%. So to wrap this up, because the plumber's here, when going back to the communication thing, we need to communicate properly as well. Yeah. Like if we're not even going to those depths, then it's not going to happen, basically. Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah. We'll just ask him for 2 minutes so we can close that out properly.
We'll come in. We're just doing a podcast, mate, but we're just wrapping it up now. Are you just dropping off?
I can do. Actually, if you're going to be a minute, I can just drop off and get it.
Are you actually doing it today? Yeah, mate, do it. We're going to finish now.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm just going to have that. I can start that out.
Yeah. All right, sweet, man.
In fact, I'll just go on now.
Yeah.
Is this yours?
No.
Cool. So let's do that close again. You're talking about...
so the communication, like we need, if we want to get the benefits, like we need to do it right, or the community thing. Yeah. And that's why I mentioned the rest thing as well, because it's like we can feel like we're resting, but we're not actually resting. And that's something that, the reason I mention it is it's like something I'm really working on at the moment, is going, why did I sleep badly last night? Like, why was my mind racing? Even though I rested, but I was actually basically just like scrolling on my phone or like watching something really intense right up until I went to bed, eating 30 minutes before I went to bed. Like all these things that basically
but that's not resting.
Disrupt rest.
Yeah. Well, I think something I was talking to someone the other day about. Is like putting alarms in your phone for pauses, and pauses mean no phone, nothing. Maybe it's just standing outside, or lying down for 5 minutes. Like make it as important as going to the toilet, making your lunch. Like at least a couple of times in your working day, pause for rest.
Yeah.
From thinking, seeing, observing, absorbing. Just stop.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the weekend, which if we've got our weekends off, it's like, as a parent, it's easy to just run away and do all the things. It's actually making time to stop and do nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All lounging and eating.
And that's why we have the weekend and it's like, yes, the weekend, because we allow ourselves a bit of that space and then we recover and de-stress by the time we come around to Monday. And if we could just bring a little bit of that intent into the weekday, and it can be like a pocket of time.
Yeah, man.
And it actually can be not doing something versus doing it. It could be like not sitting scrolling on your phone. It could be like not watching that other hour of Netflix that can actually create that time versus an actual act of doing itself.
It's the recharge. It's the battery just recharge. I'm not operating any systems right now. Yeah, beautiful, man.
So guys, I know that kind of, we probably could have gone a bit deeper into that, but the day is upon us.
Yeah.
Distractions here. Me and Joe have both got some calls. The plumber is here to put some pipes in.
Yeah.
So
hopefully there's some nuggets in there.
I think the first two we went into
first
some
two were good.
great areas.
So it's all pretty deep stuff, and that's the thing. The joy. We'll be back next week. We can explore some more. Mm-hmm. Sweet.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Bye bye.
Ciao.